we will have your quizzes and the attendance. So it will help us in identifying who are our participants who have understood well, who have joined all the sessions. So kindly rename yourself with your full name. That will be very helpful. Also, towards the end of the session, we have wonderful Kirtan video for all of you. It will be very, very mesmerizing, and we will end today's session with a quiz on the chapter 2. So kindly listen today's session very attentively and take benefit of this knowledge what Krishna Prabhu is going to share. Hare Krishna Prabhu, you can please continue.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. So actually, see, we are having this Bhagavad Gita course, and just like you see, anything we learn. So we go to class, we have something systematic course. So learning Bhagavad Gita is the best thing we can do in our life. So we should do it systematically. That's why we are going to have attendance. We are having quizzes so that we learn nicely. We learn with a proper mood, proper heart. So that's what I request all of you to take it very seriously, right? Coming on time as all of you have come today on join on time. So coming on time and and this attendances will very much help us, to know everything that how our course who has attended there, and you will have quizzes which you can solve throughout the week also. But we come to know, okay, who has attended a session, who has not attended the sessions. So that helps us giving your name. And in fact, during the session at the end, you can ask questions, interact. We are very happy. So we want that you should, at the end of the day, make best use of this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. And I can confidently say it relates to every one of us in our life, and something very, very precious to learn. What knowledge all of you are coming to learn with. And that's what gives me the greatest happiness, that you are coming here to learn it there. And I want at the end of the session, while we are going through, you have something to greatly carry in your heart, make a great value in your life to make it a special journey for you of this Bhagavad Gita there. And if you wish to open your videos, you can open your videos there and as per your wish, but please interact through chat if you have any concerns and things. Because during the session, maybe taking questions of all may not be possible, but through chat you can interact there. So we start with prayers as we had discussed last time. When we recite prayer, because this Bhagavad Gita knowledge is very pure and sacred, so we pray to Lord that please empower us to understand this knowledge. Again, okay, I think, is there a question? Sita Raman, hand is raised. Okay, I'll take the questions at the end even. Om Agyantimarandhasya Jnanam Jana Shalakaya Chakshu Militam Yena Tasme Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prasharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasha Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaur Bhattrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we will start with where we had ended the last time. So just a recap that what we discussed last time, that Arjuna's reason that why not to, reasons not to fight. So Arjuna gives 5 arguments not to fight. So first thing he says, so we saw that it was a whole scene of battlefield where Lord Krishna and Arjuna, they're having a talk. So first Arjuna tells Lord Krishna, please go and show me the battlefield. And Arjuna, when he sees Bhishma and Drona, he gets confused whether to fight or not. So first thing what Arjuna talks about is compassion for relatives. He feels that the Bhishma and Drona are my teachers. How can I kill them? And if I kill them, then what is the benefit? How I will enjoy? Because if relatives only not there to cheer up, when I win the battle, then what is the benefit? So start feeling, why should I do this massacre? So because Arjuna had a great soft heart, so he's feeling compassion. And due to his compassion, his mind is reeling. Gandiva bow slipped from his hand, and he's feeling a great symptom of distress, as we saw last time. Then second argument Arjuna gives, foreseeing no victory, no enjoyment in victory. Even I win, what will I do? Because my relatives are not there to cheer me. Or if I lose the war, because I don't know whether I will win or whether I will lose. So I don't see enjoyment in victory, neither I see any enjoyment in getting defeated. Then you fear, oh, Bhishma is my grandfather, Drona is my teacher, and they're all my brothers. So I will incur so many sinful reactions fighting this war. And then other thing is see that whole family is there in the war. If we destroy the family, what will happen? So he says, the Kula Shaya, the destruction of the whole dynasty will happen. Pranashanti Kul Dharma. Family traditions stop. Adharmo abhibhavati. Irreligion increases. So what happens when destruction of dynasty happens? Elders are not there. So they are not there to tell, what are the good things to do, what are the wrong things to do. Then what happens? Boys get corrupt, girls get corrupt. They go with the modern culture. They go with a different culture. So irreligion increases. Then women become polluted. Like we discussed, that in order, thieves are born of whom? Thieves are not born of good families. Thieves are not born of thieves, robbers. These people are not born of good parents. They're born of neglected parenthood. So when there are no parents to take care of children, that time they become thieves. So if women become polluted, then no generation is produced, and so much law and order is disturbed in the society. An unwanted progeny by mixture of different things and not proper progeny. So many things it gets destroyed. So Arjuna is giving right logic. If you have a war, elders will be killed. Then future generation will have a downfall there. So Arjuna is very much thinking the results of the battle. And the fifth reason which Arjuna thinks is indecision. Krishna, I'm unable to decide. So first four reasons we have seen, and the fifth reason we will see, Arjuna is unable to decide, Krishna, whether can I fight this war or not? What should I do? You tell me. Now, from a morality point of view, Arjuna's argument is very good because he's not thinking of himself selfishly, but he's thinking of the whole thing selflessly. Now, what is special about second chapter of Bhagavad Gita? Second chapter, Krishna gave answers to these 5 questions. Right? So if you see 11 to 30, we'll discuss about the compassion, that how Krishna refutes this. 31 to 37, the second argument, and 2.33 to 38 to 53, so third, fear of sinful reactions, and 45 to 46, destruction of family tradition, and indecision 2.41, Vyavsayarthika Buddhi. So that's what all we are going to see it today, right? That how we are going to handle this stress, how to there. Now, you may think, okay, Arjuna had 5 reasons not to fight the battle. What should I do with me? I'm not going for a battlefield. Why we are discussing so much about it? So like this question may come in our mind, right? This question may come in our mind that I'm not finding a battlefield. Then why do I need to understand this? But Lord Krishna is not speaking Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. He is speaking Bhagavad Gita to every one of us. Lord Krishna as Paramatma, he knew that all of us will be attending this Gita course today, right? So he is speaking for me and you, right? This question. Why? Our life is also a battlefield. Our life journey itself has so many problems, so many difficulties. Can any one of you say here, I don't have any problem in life? Can any one of you say here that I don't have any problem, any tension, anything in life? Is there anyone? All of you agree that we have problems? So please raise your hand if you agree that we have many, many problems in life. Yes. So everybody of us has problem. But the beauty is Lord knows all the problems in our life and Lord knows all the solutions of problems in our life. Right? Lord knows the problems. At the same time, Lord knows the solution to all those problems in our life. So if we take shelter of the Supreme Lord, through this message of Bhagavad Gita, we can get across of all the questions and all the problems. And today, what we are going to discuss is something very special knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, which can very easily take out of us a problem, not our individual problems, but problems in the world. Problems in the whole world, it can talk about. Right? So let's go ahead. So today's discussion, what we'll see. So today's acronym, like every day we told that we'll have an acronym. So what is that acronym of today's chapter is Gita. The G for Guru, Guru. So first 10 chapter, Lord Arjuna accepts Krishna as a Guru, friend, philosopher and guide. Then next verses, Lord Krishna talks about identity. He tells Arjuna, why you are identifying with this body? You're not this body, your spirit, soul. And that's where the solution to our problems is. Okay, if I know that I'm not this body, I'm a spirit, soul, so should I renounce this world? No. Lord Krishna says, no, you don't have to renounce the world. What you have to do, you should know two duties. One duty, what you do in your life. Another duty, what you do towards God. Right? So do your duty for self-realization and peace of mind. Right? So two duties Lord Krishna talks about. One duty to live in this life. One duty is to live happily in this life, understand about God, understand the purpose of life. So when you know the knowledge of soul, you do two duties and Atma Rama. The quality of a person who doesn't have any stress in this life. Lord Krishna talk about. So first we come to Guru. So what happens? So Arjuna's indecision, Arjuna's tension. What should I do? See, whenever we have a stress, we have anxiety. What should I do? What is the next step I'm going to take? And we all have so much anxiety. So Arjuna, he had everything. He was a great warrior. He had great knowledge, great parenthood, a lot of wealth, beautiful wife. Everything Arjuna is having, but he is in great stress. There is a confusion. There are difficulties in his life. And he talks to Lord Krishna. And Lord is acting like a friend. See, till now, Krishna has not spoken any knowledge about Bhagavad Gita. He's just acting as a friend to Arjuna. Now Arjuna asks Lord Krishna, what shall I do in my life? What shall I do in my life? Arjuna is asking. And then that's the time Krishna is speaking Bhagavad Gita. If you see first chapter, Lord Krishna has not spoken any verse. But in the second chapter, Lord Krishna started speaking, but Arjuna becomes serious. He seriously asks the doubts. So then Lord Krishna becomes philosopher and guide to Arjuna. Till now he was a friend. So friend, philosopher and guide. So Arjuna makes Krishna as his guru. The first three verses, Lord Krishna chastises Arjuna. Right? He chastises, he says. Now Krishna is called Madhusudan. So what Krishna is saying here, so Guru is one who can clear all doubts. Actually speaking, we do not have problems. But doubts about our identity, that makes us stress. So we are caught in a complex problem. Like you heard people commit suicide. So problems may not be so big, but they imagine the problem. For example, I'll give an example in IIT Kharagpur. There was a boy who would always come first, but somehow his one paper got bad. That boy, and the teacher was little unhappy with the boy. So he was whole night thinking, "Oh, I will fail, I will fail," and thinking that I will, what will happen to my future? He committed suicide. And later, people came to know, his friends came to know he got passed in that paper. But whole night he was kept on thinking he committed suicide. So many of the times we make problems in our mind, not understanding मेरे साथ क्या हो रहा है, not understanding I'm different from the mind, not understanding the purpose of life. We keep thinking of the problems, and that makes us more problematic. That makes us more difficult to realize in life the problems. So, but if we have a right guidance, right understanding, then we can understand. Okay, let's all of us do an exercise, which I have even done it before. So let's close your eyes and think what you're doing good. When you had gone to any last picnic, you're enjoying with your family, you're enjoying the food over there, you're enjoying the atmosphere. Just close your eyes for a few seconds and think about it. Okay. Okay, now open your eyes. So where you were last moment? Where were you last moment? Anybody would like to speak? Kripakar Prabhu, would you like to say where were you last moment?
I was at Pune. Pune.
So what was your great experience?
I was hearing one lecture from a great devotee.
Okay, you're hearing lecture from Radhesham Prabhu, I think.
Yes, Prabhu.
And so it was ecstatic time for you there.
Yes, Prabhu.
So it was a Gita lecture, that's you remembering? Okay. There. So that was your experience, right? So you felt that you went to that place just by meditation? Yes. So what it shows, we are wherever mind is. Now, if rather than thinking of something good, I would have given exercise, think where you are most miserable. I don't want to remember it. That remembrance of that misery makes us more miserable. Right? So what happens where we associate with our mind? That's how we become miserable, how we became, happy in life. So what is the solution to it? Now Arjuna is too much thinking of the consequences, what will happen, what will happen, what will happen. And he's not thinking in terms of reality. But Lord Krishna speaks in the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, which brings Arjuna to reality. Who are you, Arjuna? Shake up. Why are you for doing this fighting? Why you have come? Krishna shakes up Arjuna. So same way this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita shakes up. Take away all negative thoughts and bring towards positivity of life. No matter whatever wrong has happened in our life, there's always a positive hope. Positive hope of surrender to God. Positive hope of God in our life. Right? So no matter how much has happened, and Bhagavad Gita gives us that ray of hope. So now Arjuna is confused whether I fight or not fight. At the end of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna says, Karishya Vachanam Tava. I'm ready to for fighting. I'm very happy about fighting. Please tell me the order. How should I go ahead? So this is a message of Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is not about violence. Another Bhagavad Gita is about non-violence. It's about transcendence. How we transcend the dualities of this world. How do we transcend the things of this world? So that's what you're going to learn today. So Krishna is called Madhusudan, you know why? He killed the demon Madhu. The same way, he will kill Arjuna's doubts. So now, Arjuna's further doubts and confusion. I did not know which is better, to conquer or to get conquered. So Arjuna becomes so doubtful. He talks about that should I get conquered or being conquered? मतलब मैं हार जाऊं क्या वो ज्यादा better है क्या? To that level, Arjuna becomes depressed. Can you imagine? I'll show you the verses also after this. So Arjuna surrenders to Krishna and his peace and his Krishna begins to speak. Arjuna realized that so-called knowledge, wealth, and material comforts are useless in solving his problems. The purpose of human form of life is to find a real guru who can give us real transcendental knowledge, right? Who can give us the right knowledge by which we can become happy. That's why in India, people talk about guru. But now the problem is there had been so many fake gurus that people think, oh, no, we don't want to hear anything about guru now because there have been so many cheaters. Yeah. But just there is a fake currency, there's a real currency. See, there are doctors, there are hospitals, right, where they take out kidney which cheat people. But there are doctors who are good and honest. So when you have a health problem, you don't say, oh, all doctors are bad. I won't go for a checkup, right? No, you find a good doctor. In the same way, yes, there are a lot of cheaters in name of guru. But does it mean we don't find a real guru? No. If we find solutions in our life, then we need a guru in life. So here we have His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And his life is very, very amazing. He is one person from whom the whole world took shelter. He's a one person, because of him. You see, so many foreigners come to India, used to go to Vrindavan. Even today morning in our Seshadripuram temple, ISKCON Seshadripuram, who gave class? Bhakti Vigyan Maharaj. He's from Russia. He was a scientist doing a research in molecular biology, and he now he's a sannyasi in ISKCON, right? How? Because of Srila Prabhupada. So because of Srila Prabhupada, the whole world received the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita as it is. And what this old man did is unimaginable, right? At the age of 70 years, to fulfill the order of his guru gave him order in 1922 that whenever you go out and preach this knowledge of Indian culture, of Bhagavad Gita to the whole world, to the whole world you speak this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, right? And 43 years he prepared, 65 he traveled in a cargo ship named Jamduta from India to US. At 70 years of age, where people think of retirement, suffering 2 heart attacks, he went there. And in 1 year, he created a revolution. He created a revolution in 1 year. That is the glory of Srila Prabhupada. Right? And many youngsters who were frustrated with the American government, they became followers of Srila Prabhupada. And they started taking to chanting Hare Krishna, and they became pure Vaishnavas. And they also became very advanced in the spiritual life. They understood the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, and like that, Prabhupada spread this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita all over the world. And ISKCON today has more than 600 centers all over the world. In fact, in India, you go, there are more than 200 centers in India. Most, if you find your city will have one ISKCON center, it's all due to Srila Prabhupada. Right? So one single man, he changed the course of the world, the materialism. And today, his teachings are coming in the form of Bhagavad Gita. So whatever knowledge we are giving you, we are giving on his behalf. And today, his disciples are the gurus in ISKCON. So on their behalf, we are giving you this knowledge. So yes, there are right gurus available today whose knowledge and teachings are available. If we apply it, so just like Arjuna, God, from Lord Krishna, we can get it. And this is called Guru Parampara, which we will discuss when we go to 4th chapter about Guru Parampara. There. Now another question comes, whom we can call as God? हम भगवान किसको बोले, किसको भगवान बोले? Like if some of you are there during the time we were discussing, right? We were discussing about God, that who is God. We are discussing, right? Who can be called Bhagwan? So who can be called Bhagwan? So Parashar Muni says Bhagwan. Bhag means one who possesses all opulences is called Bhagavan. The one who possesses 6 opulences in full. Like if a Bill Gates come, we will get attracted, by his wealth. If, some cinema heroine comes, we get attracted by his beauty. Or somebody sannyasi comes, we may get attracted by his renunciation. Right? So this wealth, beauty, or like Einstein, we know, we are very much attracted by his wisdom. Mahatma Gandhi, his fame. So we are attracted anybody who possesses any opulence. But from where these opulences are coming? From God. So God is one who possesses all opulence of all riches, all strength, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and all renunciation. Such a person can be called God. So here example, you see Lord Narayan. Lakshmi is his wife, right? He's called Lakshmipati. So why? He has all the riches, because all riches come from Lakshmi, and Lakshmi's wife, and the abode of Vaikuntha, abode of Lord Narayan, is a most beautiful one. Then you see about strength. You see Lord Krishna lifted Govardhan hill. In this world, is there anyone who can lift a hill? Right? Not possible to lift a hill in this world. But he lifted a Govardhan hill on the fingertip of his hand for 7 days and 7 nights. All fame. You see Balaji, Tirupati Balaji. 1 lakh before COVID, 1 lakh people around will visit every day. Who is that famous person who can meet 1 lakh people and feed them free prasadam? Right? So Tirupati Balaji is the most famous person. All beauty. Lord Krishna's beauty is so beautiful. Even Cupid is failed before Lord Krishna's beauty. In fact, there's a pastime of Dashrathi, of Dhanurdas. This Dhanurdas was a Malla, was a wrestler in Sri Lanka. So one time there was a procession of Lord Ranganath was going on, and Ramanacharya was going in Sri Lanka. And this Dhanurdas, he was seeing one beautiful girl named Himamba. So Lord's procession is going, thousands of people are going, and he's shamelessly seeing the eyes of a woman. And Ramanacharya called him. He went to him and said, "What are you doing? You should see Lord Ranganath." He said, "No, this girl's, Himamba's eyes are so beautiful. I want to see these eyes." Ramanacharya, and if you can show me anything more beautiful than the eyes of this girl, I will surrender myself to her. Ramanacharya said, "Come to Shrirangam temple in morning 5, the Mangalarti." When this person goes, Dhanurdas, and that time, Ramanacharya showed him the lotus feet of Lord Ranganath, showed him the abdomen, navel of Lord Ranganath, and the neck. And when he see the eyes of Lord Ranganath, he got so attracted to Ranganath. He got so attraction he felt that he forget the eyes of Himamba. So Lord is all beautiful. All knowledge. See, Lord Krishna spoke this knowledge 5,000 years before, and it is so prevalent. Is there any knowledge which is so old and so famous like Bhagavad Gita? No. Bible was only 2,000 years before spoken. So all renunciation. Lord Krishna is all renounced. He's becoming a chariot driver of Arjuna, though he's so great. So we can see the 6 opulences in full. Right? So now we come to our next. I wanted to read some of the verses from Bhagavad Gita. So Lord Krishna is chastising the Supreme Personality of Godhead, say, "My dear Arjuna, how if these impurities came upon you? They're not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life." Arjuna says, Katam Bhishma Ham Sankhe Dronam Cha Madhusudana. Oh Madhusudana, you may kill Demon Madhu, but how will I kill Bhishma? How will I kill Dronam? Right? They are worthy of my worship. Guru na hadva himanu bhavan. By worshipping, it's better to live by begging. Bhoktum bhaksham api loke. Bhaksha means bhaksha. By better to beg in this world than to kill one's own guru. They are superiors. Right? If they are killed, everything will envy and joy will be tainted with blood. Nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. If we killed the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live yet. So even Dhritarashtra want to fight, or their sons want to fight, let them fight. But why should we like them? So what is better, we do not know. Now this is the time Arjuna is surrendering. Krishna. Kaparne dosho prata sabama prechami tam dharma sammuna chete yashya nishitam bruhitan me shishyasteham shadiman kam prapannam. So kaparne dosho, kaparnaya, I'm afflicted by miserly weakness, right? And I'm lost composure. I'm asking you, Prachamitam, you are Dharma, you are the best of the person. You're Sammuna Cheta. I ask you, what shall I do? Yes, Shrehan, Nishitam Rohitam, Shishya, I'm your Shishya, Shishya Steham, Shadimam, Amprapanna. I ask you, Krishna, please tell me. Soul surrender to you, please instruct me. So when Arjuna became completely full of problem, he surrendered to Krishna. In that state, Krishna is giving knowledge. See, this is the way one should take knowledge from a guru. It should not be very challenging good. We should have a great respect for the Guru's Vani, Guru's words, and whatever words he speaks will sink in our heart and give us knowledge. But if we are always hearing a knowledge from a point of doubt, oh no, what is telling is right or wrong. We use our intelligence and ask questions, right? It's not blind faith, it's logical, everything. But to the degree we understand, here is a person who knows Bhagavad Gita, his teaching. To the degree we take it seriously, we can learn this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. The knowledge will sink in our heart. I can find no means to drive away this grief, which is drying up my senses. I will not be able to dispel it, even if I win a prosperous and unrivaled kingdom on earth. So even our demigods like heaven also. Then Sanjay said, having this spoken, Krishna, he told Lord Krishna, Govinda. Govinda means you should understand my mind. Eva Mukta Rishikesha. Govinda Gudakesha. Gudakesha is Arjuna, who has conquered ignorance, but he is covered by ignorance now. He's asking Rishikesh, who is a control of the senses. Govinda, who can understand the mind of Arjuna and give pleasure to Arjuna. Govinda, I shall not fight, and fell silent. At that time, Krishna smiling in the midst of both the armies, he spoke the following words to the grief-stricken Arjuna. Krishna says, while speaking words, you're mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor the dead. Never was there a time when it did not exist, nor you, nor all these things, nor in the future, shall any ever cease to be. So, okay. So now we'll start. So now the topic which we are going to discuss is very, very important topic of Bhagavad Gita. And if we understand this, we understand a lot of knowledge and understanding of Bhagavad Gita. So please, it may be difficult. You can ask the answers. I'll give you sufficient time for asking answers, but take this section very seriously. Yeah. So this verse recite after me. Dehino yasmin yatha dehe Komaram yovanam jaraha Tata dehanta prapte Dhira tatra namuyati. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. So there was a question, what happens after death? So what Krishna is telling, Just like a person changes from boyhood to youth to old age. Same way. See, just like what I look in boyhood, does I look the same in youth? No. What I look in youth, will I look the same in old age? No. Then what happens after old age? The soul similarly passes into another body at death. And it's just a change. Just like Krishna says, just like you give up your old clothes and wear new clothes. It's a matter of change. You don't take too much tension about it, right? So this is the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. What Lord Krishna is speaking. The first thing to understand in life is that I'm not this body, I'm a split soul, the inner self. So just as the driver drives a car, soul drives a living body. Similarly, matter is dead, while soul is conscious. The soul is superior to matter. Right? The knowledge of relationship between the matter, soul, and God can bring a great positive change in this world. So just like you see a car, unless a driver sits in the car and runs, can car move? In the same way, unless the driver, the soul, sits. You see that there's a driver sitting inside this machine. That's the soul. And the soul is sitting, and that's why our body is functioning. And when that soul leaves, body is dead. The soul goes and takes another body, then another body. And like that, we are changing the body. And death is only a change in life. So we are not this body, we are Atma. So just like I told you about mind, right? Mind, think about what you're thinking. So there are feelings in mind. There are difficulties in mind. There are tensions in mind. But who is experiencing that? The soul. Or simply, I ask you a question. Who are you? What will you reply? Okay, one simple question. Who are you? What will you reply? Please, all of you write in chat. If you use a chat, who are you? Okay, so Kripakar says that he is Kripakar. But your name can be changed, Kripakar? No? Like you change your name, if your name can be changed? Yes or no? Then who are you if your name is changed? So what is our permanent ID? Okay, Dilip says, I'm a student studying in BTech. But after your BTech is completed, then your identity will change. So what is that identity which never changes? So there is somebody saying that human, a person, that's the first thought. Okay, this life we are human being. After we are dead, then who we are? After we die, then who we are? Okay, this life we are human being. After we die, then who we are? Yes. So the right answer is, okay, so it's saying we are body plus soul. So if you're body plus soul, what happens to death? What happens at death? Body goes away, only souls remain. Okay? So we are it's jiva, soul. So this point, like one time, two very fat ladies, everybody would tease them. Moti aa gayi, moti aa gayi, moti aa gayi. Yeah? People tease and people feel very bad, oh, we look so fat. Then they came to one class. One Gita class was going in a temple. And the speaker told, you are not this body, a spirit soul. They became very happy that we are not fat, we are Atma. So this all characteristics, मैं मोटा हूँ, मैं लंबा हूँ, मैं गट्टा हूँ, this belongs to the body, not to the soul. Because when we die, what remains? Many people fear death. But what is death? You change this body, go take another body. Reincarnation. But somebody commits suicide, he doesn't get another body. He has to suffer like a ghost. And therefore, suicide is the most criminal activity. One should never do suicide. You know why? He'll become a ghost and has to suffer because the soul never dies. So suffering will not end by suicide. Only body will go. But the mind which is troubling us will remain after death also. Right? So this is the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita Lord Krishna is giving. And you will see more proofs also about this reincarnation. Then Lord Krishna talks about, so because if you are not his body, spirit, soul, you don't be happy and distress. Because you're thinking happiness and distress on a bodily platform. So just heat and cold, just like winter season is gone now, summer season will come. The same way, when happiness will go, distress will come, distress will go, happiness will come. So sukha, dukha, they are the dualities in this world, and this duality comes because we think we are the body. We don't understand we are not his body, his spirit, soul. Hum atma hai. And one good news, soul never dies. And honestly speaking, this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita very much helped me in my life. I will honestly confess something to all of you. When I was in my 12th class, that time I didn't had so much faith in God. Just little faith in God, like all of you said, no, okay, it's God, some's there reciprocating, let me see. So then I would go and, but what happened? One of my friends, they were like gundas, dadas in the college. They started troubling me. And then I went to my mother, my mother, some boys are troubling me. Mother told, beta, read Hanuman Chalisa. So I would read Hanuman Chalisa. There, take shelter of Bajrang Bali, Hanuman. After that, while reading Hanuman Chalisa, one Bhagavad Gita, all the Bhagavad Gita was kept in my house. So I start reading that Bhagavad Gita. And then when I read in that we are not this body or spirit soul. Hum Shari nahi Atma hai. I became so happy. Now I don't have to fear anybody because I'm anyway not this body. So that knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, and actually it happened when I went back because I was fearless, nobody could harm us because they will make many comments about me. So I won't care about them because anyway I'm not a body. So life becomes very peaceful, shant. So this one knowledge about हम ये शरीर नहीं है, हम आत्मा है. That can change the whole world. And what is missing in today's world, even in other religions, this knowledge of Atma. What is this Atma? What is the connection of this Atma with Paramatma, with God? And this is the main subject of Bhagavad Gita. Jiva, Ishvara, Prakriti, Karma, and Kala. And we understand these 5 subjects very nicely. There is no problem which we cannot tackle. And that's why the whole world wants to know the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. That's the reason even see, when Srila Prabhupada was preaching, he was not preaching amongst the Hindus. They all from a Christian background. But when they got that pure teachings of Bhagavad Gita as it is from Srila Prabhupada, their life changed. Because Prabhupada was not teaching any sectarian religion. He was teaching a religion which is meant for everybody, because everybody is soul. Right? Nobody, and in fact, when Bhagavad Gita was spoken 5,000 years, neither there was Islam, neither there was Christianity, neither Judaism, nothing was there. Only one religion, Sanatana Dharma, which we all belong to. And Bhagavad Gita is not a book of religion, it's a book of universal values, applies to any human being. And therefore, this knowledge has a great power of Bhagavad Gita because it's presented by the Lord Himself to Arjuna for benefit of all of us. And the first thing of this knowledge is, I'm not just body, I'm spirit, soul. Even many of you will know it. I'm thinking, why I'm so much emphasizing. Many of us know also, but how much we have realized that we are not this body, we are spirit, soul. Hum kaun hai? How much we have realized. If we have realized this, we will not have tension in our life. We will not have problems in our life. And therefore, what is a practical step to realize that I am not this body, I am spirit, soul? That's what Lord Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Gita. So to realize that I'm not this body, spirit, I'm not a spirit soul, I'm not this body, a spirit soul, doesn't mean we give up the world. Means we live the world, we live in the world, we do the duties of this world with this knowledge. This is the mission of Bhagavad Gita. So previously Arjuna was fighting for his pleasure, for gaining a kingdom. But Krishna is giving him a reason why should you fight, not for you. There is a higher purpose of fighting. If somebody fighting a Kargil war is not about a Kargil, it's about saving dharma. It's about higher principles. If Duryodhana is not punished for his misdeeds, every home there will be Duryodhana raping women. Like you see in Hyderabad, there was a gang rape happened. When the police officer went and killed all those fellows who did the gang rape, everybody got a lesson. That if you do a gang rape, then you will be punished. If punishment is not given to the treacherous, it increases. It increases the misery of people. So there was a higher purpose for Lord Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita, and behind the war of Kurukshetra, which Lord Krishna is explaining. Is my voice is not louder enough?
We are able to hear you clearly.
Okay.
They can increase your volumes if you are not able to hear. Increase your volume, or else put headphone in your device, because sometimes device problem is there.
So soul never dies. That means he never dies. There is nothing to fear, right? Why people are so fearful of COVID? Because they have fear we will die. That's a fear. That's why COVID is taken so much seriously. That means death is a very big thing. And nobody knows what happens after death except the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Further teaching will never die. Of course, that doesn't mean that we don't take COVID seriously. That doesn't mean we don't take precaution. God has given this body which is like a temple, right? So we want to save the temple. We want to use this body for a good purpose. So you want to take care of this body. But we understand we are different from this body. Just like you take care of your house, but you know you're different from your house. You take care of your car, but you know you're different from car. Another example I will give you. If you're sitting in a taxi, somebody hits the taxi with a stone, will you go and fight that person? We don't fight. We will go and take another taxi. It's a taxi wala fights. But if it is our new car, Mercedes car, 40 lakh car, somebody puts a stone on the car, what will happen? We'll go and fight. Because we think it's my car, but taxi is not mine. The same way we feel I'm this body. Anything happens in this body, anything related to this body, we get so much affected. But when you understand I'm not this body, I'm a caretaker of this body. So I protect this body. But at the same time, I don't get tense. I don't get stress. So I do all my duties which are pertaining to this body, but with a peace of mind, with a happy, healthy way. And this is the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita teaches art of work. How should I do my work in this world? So that I can happily do my work in life. So saying Veda Vinashinam Nityam Ya Enam Japayam Katham Sa Purusha Partha Tam Ghatyati Hantikam. Oh Partha, how can a person who knows that the soul is indestructible, eternal, and born, and immutable kill anyone or cause anyone to kill? Vansansi Chanani Yatha Vihaye. Please repeat after me. Vansansi Jinani Yatha Vihaye. Navani Grenani Naroparani. Tatha Sharirani Vihaya Jinani. Panyani Sanyati Navani Dehi. So what Lord Krishna is speaking? Vansansi Jinani. Just like old clothes you give up. Vansansi Jinani Yatha Vihaye. And what you do? Wear new clothes. Navani Granani Naruprani. Tatha Sharirani Vihaya Jinani. The way, Sharir. The sharir also vihajinani, anyani samayati navani dehi. Anyani samyati navani dehi. Same way, we get a new body. And therefore, there's a proof of reincarnation. There's an Ian Stevenson. So this is scientific. Now this, again, this is also a very scientific thing, right? Reincarnation research. So there's Ian Stevenson, a Carlson professor of psychiatry, University of Virginia, has extensively investigated over 2,000 cases of spontaneous reincarnation memories. Now it has become 3,000 cases. So research, reincarnation means Pon Jana, taking birth again. So there was a question before the session between 5:30 to 6. Our Vikram had asked how a person is born poor and somebody person is born rich. How? Why so much injustice? The answer is because that person has lived life before. So according to his deeds in the last life, he is getting birth in this life. Right? And whatever deeds you will do in this life, same way you get body in the next life. And this is a law of science of reincarnation. Reincarnate. Incarnate. Carnate means flesh. Right? So again you get another flesh, another body. This is called reincarnation. Purna Janam. So we have lived many, many lifetimes. Some life we may be a dog, some life we may have been a tree, some life we may have been a human being, some life we may have been an animal, cow, rat. And now I've got a human life. But next life, what I get, there is no guarantee. Depending on my karma, depending on my deeds, I will get next life in this world. So this is called Punjanam, reincarnation. So all of us have been going in the cycle of reincarnation for many, many births. We had been something in last life. We have got this human form of life. And according to our deeds, we can completely come out of the cycle of birth and death. Like I'll show you one video, soul changing bodies.
The soul cannot be measured with any scientific instrument. Yet this minute, non-material entity, the soul, is so powerful that it unceasingly activates each body throughout its entire lifetime. This tiny little spark of life thus moves from one body to another. This is called reincarnation. Difficult to understand. Even in our own life, we live in different bodies. Medical science has demonstrated that all of our cells are replaced every 7 years, including even the brain. On the battlefield, Krishna tells Arjuna,
as the embodied soul continually passes in this body from childhood to youth, to old age, the soul likewise passes into another body at death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change.
And there are other proofs also, of what? Out-of-body experiences. People had out-of-body experience where they went out of body and they realized there's something different from the body. It's called OBE in technical language. Out-of-body experiences which people have. Okay, so I'll show you one video of reincarnation. That is a real story of reincarnation. Pilot reincarnation. Is the video ready, Chandan Prabhu? It'll take some time. Okay, video is ready. So we'll see this video It's a 5-minute video. It's little English accent because it's a case study, right? It's a case study about a person remembering his last life. And last life, he was a fighter pilot. But he's a small child. He's remembering his old story. So we will carefully see, and then we'll discuss upon this case study. Yeah, Clayton.
They had the same name and boyish good looks. James M. Houston, raised in the Midwest. James M. Leininger, a young boy from the Bayou.
Whoa! There's something in the eyes. It's undeniable.
That's not all they share.
Somehow James Houston's spirit has affected my son, either through reincarnation. I don't know how it happened.
I can read the Japanese easy as pie.
Initially, what caught my attention was James's extreme fascination with airplanes.
And every night he slept with his G.I. Joe action figures, which he named.
That's not a bomb, that's a drop tank.
Bouncing about in the cockpit, James was flying high. That night, their world would change forever.
He started having the nightmares, and that was my first indication that there was something wrong. It was a panic-stricken, terrorized screaming.
Over and over again, James had the same terrible nightmare, 4 to 5 times a week. He was too young to explain the dream, but he could draw.
Bombing ships, you see men parachuting. Here's another one where planes are dropping bombs.
He would just be crying. He'd say, airplane crash on fire, little man can't get out. He laid on his back and kicked up at the ceiling, and he goes, Mama, the little man's going like this. And he laid on his back and kicked his feet up. The little man's going, ooh, 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 can't get out. And I said, well, who's the little man, baby? And he goes, me. I thought Bruce and I were just going to faint.
They questioned, what kind of plane?
Why did your airplane crash?
My plane was shot down.
Who shot your plane?
He looked at me like I was a village idiot. He said,
the Japanese. I kept thinking, where is he getting this? I was a stay-at-home mom, so I know that there wasn't anything that he was being exposed to.
Not exposed to in this life, but perhaps, just maybe, somebody else was. Decades earlier, James Houston grew up with the same insatiable fascination with airplanes. He became a naval fighter pilot and fought in World War II. March 3rd, 1945, during a mission near Iwo Jima, he took a direct hit. At age 21, was declared missing and presumed dead.
where did he take off from a boat?
Do you remember the name of your boat? He said Natoma.
Found several thousand hits on the word Natoma.
The USS Natoma Bay launched into battle, headed for Iwo Jima in the fight for Lady Gulf.
It's the biggest naval battle in the history of the world.
Leo Pyatt served on the ship. From his home in Ohio, he organizes the Natoma Bay reunions. That's how Bruce found him.
I wanted to disprove it.
He asked a few questions about, did I know some of the people? Oh, yeah, I remember those people. And so he got very quiet.
It was all real. The people and places James described actually existed. And remember those G.I. Joe dolls that James named? Turns out 3 men with the same names, first and last, served on the Natoma and were killed in action. James said they greeted him in heaven after his crash.
I'd always asked him, do you remember what your name was? And he always said James. But his name is James.
Yes, there was a Jim Houston, a rather large shell just hitting in the engine, and it burst into flames and it went down.
They showed Leo the drawings.
He was right on the nose. I'm sure, in my mind, that he was there.
Houston's sister, Anne.
And he goes, it's not Anne, it's Annie. She wasn't my oldest sister. I had an older sister than that. And I said, you did? Who was that? And he goes, Ruth. I mean, Ruth.
Annie is what they called me when I was little, knowing my name and my sister's name, things that my brother did when he was a kid. It's too amazing to describe how he would feel that way, but he does. He considers me his sister.
But does she consider James her brother?
I think it's probably a reincarnation of my brother.
Anne was so touched. She gave James items from her brother's final effects.
The little George Washington bust had been on my brother's desk all through school.
I said, where's the statue? He said, I put it on my desk.
As James gets older, his memories of James Houston and the nightmares are beginning to fade, but his knowledge of airplanes and his passion for flying continues to soar.
The Corsair was my favorite fighter. The Corsair was fast and Jordan was very good.
Why him?
James will never say anything about why he's here.
One of God's unexplained mysteries.
Suzanne Stratford, Fox 8 News.
So here we see the video that how he remembered his past life being a fighter pilot. He was during Japanese attack on America, Pearl Harbor, and an American crew flew and he was killed into that. So he was remembering that past, though he was a small child. So why? Because he was a fighter pilot and he died in a battlefield. Now he's remembering that fighting, and again he took birth. So again his interest in fighter planes continued even in this life. Right? So we will see many of the children, they will have said engineer banna hai. Somebody will have dream of becoming prime minister from childhood only. Somebody will have dream of doing big things from childhood. And somebody is very normal. So we carry our ambition, desires to next life. So it's not one lifetime. We are going from one birth to another birth to another birth. So we see only a very small section of our life. If 1 month is not good, part of our life is not good, we see just that much part only. We do not see the whole life is very big, and we can go and we after this also will continue to live. So therefore Bhagavad Gita teaches us how we should live in this world so that our current life is good and the future life is good. This is what is the message of Bhagavad Gita we learn. Right? So he says that phobia. Some people have phobia of water. Some people have phobia of firearms. So this all coming to the past life. Then what is the qualities of eternal soul? Nenam chindanti shastrani, nenam dahati pavakaha, na chenam kledayantapo, na shoshati marutaha. The soul can never be cut to pieces by any weapon, nor burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by the wind. Right? Soul cannot be cut to pieces. Even you take a weapon like this, nothing will happen. Even if water you put, nothing will happen. But the soul is untouched. Nothing can do, because soul is an eternal entity. So what are the benefits of knowledge of soul? We can overcome all stress, negative thinking, stress, discrimination. So this, like suppose this person is there. Oh, this is the 4th time I'm failing in mathematics paper. Now I'm finished. I'm hopeless. I don't think I'll be able to clear the subject, or I will be able to get a job. My father will never let me give up my studies. What to do? Better hide myself and commit suicide. That's how people get suicidal thoughts. But if your knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, how will it think? Oh, I got a failed marks in the mathematics paper. I need to take someone's help to clear it next time. I'll go to Arvind, who is smart in mathematics. He can help me. So you see hope. Life doesn't end. See another simple example. Universal brotherhood. What divides us? People fight, no? To Hindu, to Muslim. Now tell a question. Is Hindu soul different? Muslim soul different? Soul in a body of a Hindu is different than the soul in the body of a Muslim. Unnecessarily, Hindu will hate Muslim, Muslim will hate Hindu. Oh, you are Hindu, you're bad. Oh, you're Muslim, you're bad. Our soul is neither Hindu, neither Muslim. And so people change also. Hindu, Muslim, Hindu hi to Muslim bane. All these Muslims who are there in India, they're all Hindus only before. All the souls, is my voice okay now? Is my voice clear? Yeah. So the souls who are there, the Muslims in India, they were Hindus before. So actually everybody is Jivatma. Even the animals, they have a soul. Even trees, they have a soul. So everyone is a part and parcel of God. Right? Everybody's soul. Isn't there? So therefore, if we are treating badly somebody, We should know we are hurting. Lord is there in that person's heart. He is Jivatma, he is Atma, he is soul. So just like I am soul, he is soul. I may be rich, he may be poor, but the quality of soul is same. The Lord loves both poor and rich people alike. So we do not discriminate. We do not treat anybody badly in this world. We respect everyone according to their social status, right? But we understand everybody is a child of God, everybody is a spirit soul, and we treat everybody nicely in this world. And if everyone knows this knowledge, why they really fight over Hindu Muslims? Why they really fight over black and white? You know, black and white became such an issue in America just a few months back. Are black and white? The soul is neither white, neither black. The body only is black or white. The soul is different from the body. So when we have this knowledge of Atma, the whole world can be changed based on this knowledge of Atma, right? So this is something a very, very important knowledge, the knowledge of the Atma. So Hindu versus black, white versus black, rich versus poor, and what united? So this is a grand event happened on the 15th anniversary of Srila Prabhupada boarding Jalduta in Kolkata in 2015. So around more than 100 nations came in this, and all were united on the one. So this is a real united nation. And you will see also, if you go to Mayapur, you will see devotees from different countries: Russia, Canada, Brazil, India, even China, even Pakistan, all coming together, living happily. And everybody is shouting, Jai Sachinandan God Hari. Why? Because God is a supreme factor. God is the one factor which can unite everybody. So all the problems of lives in our society, in our families, in our heart gets over when we connect ourselves to who we are. When we connect our soul to God, that's how the problems of life are over. And that's what the real ideals we have to make in our life, to be happy in life. And this is the message Lord Krishna is speaking to Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. That Bhishma and Drona, you're thinking their grandfather, they will get another body, but you do your dharma. If a policeman thinks, oh, I'm killing this thief, like previously Indian people think, oh, if we kill terrorists, what will happen to them? We're killing a life. And because of releasing that terrorist, 100 people's life will go into risk. Right? The Kandahar incident happens 15, 20 years back. Because they do not have the right understanding. No, but if you give punishment to that person, the government gives punishment. See, Arjuna was acting as a government because they were the king. And it was their duty to punish Duryodhana and anybody who sided with such a wicked person like Duryodhana. So, but the dharma will prevail and they will get another body and their sin is finished by that killing. So if a murderer is hanged, what happens? That murderer has received the right punishment which he is due. But if the murderer is not hanged, the next life he has to suffer more because of the murder. And that's why such stringent rules were made there. So Bhagavad Gita teaches us everything. In fact, what happened when the Kargil war happened? So my spiritual teacher was telling that Radheshyam Prabhuji was telling that many people came because Pune was an army fleet. So they all were coming and they were praying to God and they were thinking, no, next time they may not come back. So they're all praying and they're all reciting this verse of Bhagavad Gita, right? You're going for a yudh, you're going for a dharma. Even we die, we'll go to heaven because you're fighting for the right cause. You're fighting for dharma yudh. So many military men, they have that faith in the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita teaches to do our duty nicely in every field. Like people have a difficulty, right? In COVID time, doctors, whether to go to clinic or not, this is life of risk of life. But Bhagavad Gita talks about teaching our duty on a higher principles in life. And more we will learn, but this knowledge of soul is something very vital and fundamental in learning and understanding what we're learning in the society. Right? So this is what the benefits of the knowledge of soul. So birth and death are inevitable. So in this world, jatasya hi dhruvam mrityu, mrityu dhruvam janam mritasya cha, tasmad apariyartena tam shochitam arhasi. One who has taken his birth is sure to die, and after death, one is sure to take birth again. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. Because anyway, death will come in this world. The death is a satya. जैसे आश्चर्यवत् पश्यति कश्चित् एनम म आश्चर्यवत् वदति तथैव चान्या आश्चर्यवत् च मन्यः शृणोति श्रुत्वा पयेनं वेद न चेत् कश्चित्. Some look on the soul as amazing, some describe him as amazing, and some hear of him as amazing, while others, even after hearing about him, cannot understand him at all. So many people after hearing about soul, they are not able to understand that are we really soul, who we are. That understanding becomes difficult for them to understand. So we have completed the half chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the Guru identity. And next time we'll discuss more. But before that, I wanted to take some questions and answers. And then we will show you how to feed our soul, how to feel satisfaction of soul. Is through kirtan, through spiritual music, through Lord's name there, which is a practical application of the philosophy what we are discussing. But before that, I want to take some questions from all of you about we are not this body, we are a spirit soul, especially on the subject or some topic about Guru that comes. So any questions?
Meanwhile, I'm giving permissions for you to unmute. I again request those who joined later that kindly rename yourself with your full name because we had announced it in the beginning, but I still see around 10 to 20 of you are named as your mobile device, like Galaxy or Lenovo Tab. We will not know that who are the participants who are with us in this session. So kindly rename yourself, take a minute, go to your participants and just rename yourself. And now one by one, you can unmute yourself and ask the question. Yes, Pruji, you were saying something?
Yeah, I can ask the question. Any questions, please?
Hare Krishna. I have a question that, as you already told, regarding the fear. So, how we every time, can you hear me?
Yeah, please repeat.
So, regarding the fear, when
Yeah.
we get any fear, then how we every time console ourselves that we are a soul.
Yeah. So we understand that Lord is there. See, just like soul is there, super soul is there. He's there in our heart. Sarvasachaham hidi sanivishto mata smriti jnana punam cham. That He is the one who is giving us remembrance. He's there with us, there always. So you don't have to fear. Uski इच्छा के बिना पत्ता भी नहीं हिलता है. So Lord is always there to help us. So when we have that faith, then we can overcome fear.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Thank you.
I think Malti ji Rajan had a question.
I have one more question in this chapter. Arjuna first he was talking as like a friend or as a relative like with Arjuna, but what if then again he surrendered as a god? I mean as a guru. He's as a disciple. Then why? So is there any difference will happen if he would have taken the same without taking the as a guru?
Yeah, he would not take in the knowledge given by Krishna seriously. Only when we go approach a guru, then we can take the knowledge seriously. See, even in college classrooms also, if you learn chemistry, you have to go to chemistry teacher and learn seriously from him. Otherwise, it becomes very difficult to understand the concepts. So just like in a college, you have authorized college, authorized teacher, authorized book. So for knowing spiritual knowledge also, we need a spiritual parampara. We need authorized teachers, authorized college, and authorized books. Authorized books is Bhagavad Gita. Authorized teachers, like coming in Guru Parampara, like Srila Prabhupada and his followers, and authorized institute like ISKCON.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. What is the function of soul in the body, Prabhuji? Is the body suffering or the soul suffering?
Oh, soul identifies with the body and suffer. Like for example, car and body. Somebody will hit your car, right? So is somebody, but nobody, but that person has not hit you. But you suffer or not because your car is suffered.
Yeah, we suffer. But is it the soul or the
our
mind?
But, yeah, I'm coming. So to the degree you identify with the body, you suffer, right?
Yes.
To the degree you identify with the car, you suffer. So actually there is no suffering for the soul. The soul identifies with the body. The soul identifies with the situation. That's why he suffers.
So soul also suffers.
Because of identification. Like चोट कहाँ पड़ी है कार पे. सोल ड्राइवर को कोई चोट नहीं पड़ी. चोट पड़ी कार को. but ड्राइवर को कोई चोट नहीं आई. But because like I said ना, that पत्थर मारा कार पे. So then the driver को तो चोट नहीं आई. But the driver suffers to the degree identify. अगर टैक्सी की गाड़ी है, then we don't suffer.
Oh, I didn't understand, Prabhuji. The soul is spirit, no, Prabhuji.
Yes, soul is spirit.
It's not material.
It's not material. Yeah.
Yes.
So nothing can happen to him.
Okay, Prabhuji.
But because he's identifying with the body.
Oh, okay.
Like if you have a daughter. So something happens to the daughter, but nothing is not happening to you. You are different from your daughter. But will you feel pain?
Too much, Prabhuji.
Because you're identifying with the daughter. You feel daughter is yours. Same way we feel because body is mine. So any suffering on the body level makes the soul suffer. But actually there is no suffering for the soul.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, my question is like in Bhagavad Gita, it is also written that when a body becomes useless for a soul, then soul leaves the body and take another body. But let's say someone get heart attack, a young man, very healthy man. So like the body was very useful for the soul, but soul has to leave the body, or someone cut the head of the young man. So like who decides when soul will leave the body?
When the body
we says that like life is for a certain time of period. So even if the body may be useful for the soul, but the time for death of the body has come. So soul has to leave the body.
Both. If the time has come, then the soul will leave the body. Or if the body becomes too much unusable, the soul will leave before that time has come. So that's why suicide is a very punishable offense. Because society, you kill the body before its prescribed time also. There. That's why society is very heinous thing, very sinful thing.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I just wanted to ask you the question on the same context. As you told right now, suicide is a crime. My question is along with the same sentence. What if someone has done the suicide and as per today's session, his soul will be remain in the physical world? So how he will get liberated? How he will join the reincarnation cycle? So how what the Bhagavad Gita told in the context of this scenario?
After a long time of suffering, he will join the reincarnation cycle, or his descendant do some punya shraddha upon him, or he comes to a place where the holy name of God is chanted. So these are some rules and regulations by which that soul can again join the reincarnation cycle.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
So I think now it's 7:21. We can play the kirtan, and after the kirtan again I'll continue with the question answers. But please see this kirtan, which is very nice and it's actually very soothing to the soul. See, just like car and driver analogy. What is the food for car? Petrol. But what is the food for driver? Rice, chapati, dal. So in the same way, the food for our body is rice, dal, sabji, chapati. But what is the food for our soul? Is connecting ourselves to God. So kirtan is a means to connect to God. It's called soothing music. So you will hear this kirtan, what is kirtan, and you will understand it. And future, we will also teach the ways for meditation and other things which will enliven us very much. So, and next time we are going to discuss a very important topic about duties, the remaining half chapter of Bhagavad Gita, second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where we talk about how to do duty without any stress. So please play the video.
At one stage, I did an exercise with myself, and that was I thought back over my life and thought about which were the moments where I was happiest. And as I did that little exercise, I realized the moments when I'm at my happiest, at my peak happiness, is when I'm singing kirtan. And so I realized that kirtan is the thing that brings me the greatest fulfillment and happiness. Just being there with other people, sharing kirtan, seeing their own happiness unfold, seeing their hearts open as they become free. They become free of fears and anxieties for that time while they're singing, while they're present, as they become peaceful and their hearts open with joy, with love. That just gives me the greatest fulfillment and sense of purpose and meaning that I'm able to contribute to other people's happiness in life. My dad gave me the name Prahlad. Prahlad means one who gives happiness. And so the way I try to live up to my namesake is by sharing the happiness of kirtan. Kirtan is an ancient form of meditation that has been practiced for thousands of years. We sing mantras. Man means mind and tra means to free. So kirtan frees the mind of what? It frees the mind of anxiety. It frees the mind of fear. Recently I sang kirtan on top of the Great Wall of China. And as I was standing on this massive edifice, thousands of kilometers long, I saw it as an embodiment of fear and greed. These human emotions, these are conditioned emotions which cover the soul. They have become like walls around the soul. Fear and greed. We put them up around us. We try to defend ourselves, protect ourselves. Kirtan brings those walls down, takes away the fear, takes away the greed, allows the pure soul to shine forth. The soul has nothing to fear. The soul needn't be greedy. The soul is full of love. When you're full of love, you don't have to fear. You don't have anything. You don't have an idea to take, but rather to give and to share. So the more people do kirtan, the more people become loving and free, the better the world will be as a place to live. I always ask people at the end of a kirtan session to take the positive experience with them, to carry it with them in their hearts, and to act as a beacon in society, a beacon of light, someone who's giving to others, helping to uplift others, to contribute to others, rather than taking or creating more darkness, to carry that light in their own lives by practicing kirtan. You don't need a big group. Just a few other people, friends, family. You can even sing kirtan by yourself. I often do it at home with the harmonium. And you can experience the same bliss, the same upliftment. What's really important in kirtan is that attitude of surrender. You're giving your heart, you're giving your mind, you're giving your soul in that sound vibration to the divine. Just letting go. That's where the bliss comes in. If we're trying to taste the bliss itself, then it doesn't really happen. Or maybe it happens, but not to the extent that is really possible. But when you just let go and let yourself be, not thinking of tomorrow or yesterday, but just be present, hearing the sound, feeling the sound, singing with your heart, that's where the magic happens. And kirtan really is full of magic.
Hare Krishna. So I hope you like this Kirtan. So this is the actual way we realize soul. So you don't have to go to forest and do austerities. Just by wonderful, connecting ourselves to God through this Kirtan, we can understand who we are. And this is a benefit of Kali Yuga. And we can realize the purpose of life. So there's a question from Srinath Gadaliji. The question is, what's the purpose of our life? So actually the duty of human being is what? Atato Brahm Jigyasa. The Vedanta Sutra, the first verse speaks about Atato Brahm Jigyasa. Now I have attained this human form of life. I want to know what is the purpose of my life. So purpose of life twofold. One is we have desires. Like, see, Lord has created this universe for two purposes. We have some desires we want to enjoy. So we fulfill those desires in a liable way, in a dharmic way, in a proper way, through family, honestly doing our job. Right? And second purpose is to realize, who am I? I'm not this body. This material world is not all in all. The spiritual world exists. And I have my relationship with God. To establish that relationship with God, which completely stop the cycle of birth and death. Like we are taking birth and again taking birth, again taking birth. So there's a cycle of birth and death. To stop the cycle of birth and death and realize who is God, realize who am I, and establish my sambandha with God, to come out of all sufferings, to find the true way of happiness. So this is the purpose. So this is the purpose of our life, right? Is the purpose of our life there. To find the real path of happiness and to end all miseries by understanding ourselves, God, and relationship between two. And as you will be attending this Bhagavad Gita session, we'll go more specifically what's the purpose of life. Even Arjuna was confused, but he got a purpose through Bhagavad Gita there. So what is the goal of our life? What we want to achieve at the end of this life? So we actually want happiness. We're looking for happiness. So Bhagavad Gita talks, what is that permanent place of happiness? What is the way we can find a permanent happiness? To find that is the goal of life, purpose of life. So does this answer your question, Shinaji? Hare Krishna, Srinath. Yeah, okay. So more we will discuss upon this as we do. If soul has similar characteristics, yes, soul has similar in quality, but it has the features. It also has identity. So we can identify. It's not like, all drops are same. No, every soul has its unique identity. So we can identify the soul.
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
In Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan said that a warrior who dies in the war field, so it's a higher stature, means he gets a mukti, right?
No, he doesn't get mukti. He goes to heaven to enjoy.
Okay. Okay, so from heaven also people can reincarnate again.
So they go to heaven, enjoy, and come back. Like they get a picnic. Like from office, you get a picnic. You go to a resort and come back to office work. Like that.
Okay, bro.
One sloka, Lord Krishna was saying, after every death there will be another life.
Yeah.
Why there will be another life? There is no mukti after that?
No, because according to your karma, you have to again take birth. Like this fighter pilot, right? This fighter pilot.
No, like if I am talking about someone sent person
so
who is very pious, who is doing Krishna bhakti, everything is good. Like who deserves to get.
Yeah, only saintly people, when they get mukti, they will go to spiritual world. And they go with the Lord, and there they serve the Lord. And more we will discuss as our session continues. So there will be spiritual life. There will be no material.
No, but like it was written that they have to take.
Which verse you're talking about?
What I have to see? I don't remember. Like,
what was written?
I have to see.
2.7, I think he is talking about.
27, Prabhuji.
Okay. So yeah, one was
2.27.
27 verse, right? Okay, what it says, 27th verse. Yeah. One who has taken birth is sure to die, and after death, one is sure to take birth again. Yes. So generally, people will have residual karma in this world, right? So somebody will take birth in heavenly planets, somebody will take birth in Vaikuntha. So one who has completed moksha means what? Is not that moksha means now everything is finished. Moksha means you leave your material body and get a spiritual body, and then you're eternally there. Then you don't have to come back. This Lord Krishna explains in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Right? There. But what birth you will take, not in this material world, in the spiritual world, where you are eternally happy. So Lord Krishna will tell this concept more in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Yat gatvana nivartante tadhamam paramam. So more you will understand, but good for your inquisitiveness.
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Thank you. Any other question? Of course, now officially it's 7:36, so officially we end the lecture. In case if any one of you have doubt, you can stay back. I'm still there to answer because I wish all of you understand the subject matter more deeply.
Know more about body and soul. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So Hari, very good question. Hari has asked. I understand. I'm soul. Hari, would you like to ask this question? I want you that you ask this question in the mic, in the audio, so that everybody knows it from your mouth. Are you able to unmute, Hari? Your name is Hari. Hari is the name of the Lord, Hari. Who takes Sar Anumangal Hare is Hari.
Yeah, I wanted to ask. I understand that I am soul, but like how to act on that knowledge, it seems very difficult.
Oh, how to act. So this is what we are going to learn in the next session. So Krishna says to Arjuna that you are Next, so Krishna says that, okay, if you are not his body soul, but you are not realized that platform. So we need how I should do the duties in this world. So I realize that I am not his body and spirit soul. And this is we are going to discuss in the next session. 2 duties, how we should do duty in our life, so that we are not stressed out, but we come to the ultimate purpose of our life. So thank you for your question. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
This is Amarnath Prabhu.
Amarnath. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Prabhuji, what I heard, there is a good karma, there is a bad karma.
Yes.
If you do the good karma, then we can go to the heaven, we can enjoy. Again, we have to come back and take a birth.
Yeah.
If you do the bad karma, accordingly, there will be having a bad things.
Yes.
So again, yeah, that means if I'm going to do any like maybe helping to the other people, dana, dharma, something I'm going to do, there's only limitation for that. Again, only limitation we can enjoy at heaven. That's all. So instead of that, doing either good karma or bad karma, if we can do akarma, so maybe we may have to reach Bolokundavan.
Yes.
So even good karma also it is not advisable.
So your question is, how do good karma not lead to good and binds us in this world? That's what your question is?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So even I had this question. See, if you do good to others, good should happen to you. Then why should you remain in this world? So actually, we have to understand how there are 2 things. See, if you do bodily good to some person, then you will get good things in your life. Like even today, if you have a good job, good earning, good property. So this is coming because last life you had given a lot of charity to Brahmanas and things, right? So you got good facilities in this life. Now, how do we get out of the cycle of birth and death when we realize our real identity? So now, because you have done charity in last life, so this life you're receiving more facilities so that you can more focus on spiritual life. So just by doing good, you are not able to understand about spiritual life, but you are given a facility by which you get more closer to the message of Bhagavad Gita. You're able to understand. So the charity Vagera, the ultimate purpose of that is to bring us to real knowledge that we are part and parcel of God. And when we understand we are part and parcel of God, then we do good to people on that platform by giving them charity of knowledge or by giving them prasadam, by giving them things connected to God. So when we do charity, do good to people, keeping God in the center, then that will take us to Golok Vrindavan. So doing good is not wrong, but keep God in the center, keep self-realization in the center, then that doing good to others also will lead us to a karma and going to the spiritual world or moksha, what we say. So does that answer your question?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yes. Any other question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I had a question. Thank you Prabhuji for a very nice class. Prabhuji, if a soul is taken into hell, so is the soul given the punishment or soul is given different body so that it can be given some punishment? Because it said that the soul can never be cut, soul can never be burnt. So how can the soul suffer?
So even then, so first you have to understand there's a heaven and hell. That again discussion will do how heaven and hell are there, though we cannot see it. There's a reason logic about heaven and hell. But for the time, so when you go to hell and heaven, you are given another body, which are called subtle bodies. There's another covering. So when a person is taking with hell, it is given a preta sharira. So the preta sharira is given torture, and the soul identifies that I have got a preta sharira, and then the soul suffers because of that preta sharira. So, but the body is like that. Even that body is put into burning oil. You don't die, but you feel the pain of burning oil, boiling oil. So the narak there is given because in this body, if you're boiled in oil, what will happen? We will die immediately. But when you go to Naraka, punishment in Naraka are given, that they are giving you body that even you are boiled in oil, you won't die. But you feel the pain of boiling. So to give intense pain, hell are made, and to give intense pleasure, heavens are made. Like if we eat 3 glasses mango juice, the stomach gets spoiled. But in heaven, you can drink 100 liters of mango juice. Right? So that's why heaven is made, heaven and hell, to give intense pleasure and intense pain. And after that, covering that quota, you again come back to Bharatvarsha, to planet Earth, Manushya Yoni. And where we do again karma, and again that cycle of birth and death continues.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
A ghost has a soul and what? Like we have a soul and a body. So a ghost has soul and
subtle body. So soul and subtle body, no gross body.
Mind, intelligence, ego, like that.
Yeah, mind, intelligence, ego. That is called subtle body. That also will discuss about whole mechanism comes of subtle body and gross body.
Have you ever seen?
Yes, yes, Pradeep. Hare Krishna. Okay. If Sita Sahu is a question, would you like to ask to everyone? If Sita Sahu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, this is my question. Like, why we came to this Earth planet? Like, as a human being, or as a plant, or as a any animal?
Or why we came only to this world, right?
Yeah.
That's your question. Yeah. See, again, why? So this all questions, so we will discussing about from where, if we are not as body, we are spirit soul, where does the soul comes from? The soul originally was living with God, but he wanted to enjoy separately from God. And that's why he comes to this world. So this is a very detailed discussion, how the soul comes to this world and why does it come. So as you keep understanding Bhagavad Gita, you will understand it more. Why does the soul comes to this world? So first you have to know more about God, what happens, where to go. So now the important from where we come, the question is where to go. So we will discuss this question in more detail later on.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Yes. Okay, Ram Kumari Iyer, do we know how many janmas we have as per Bhagavad Gita? Once karma is done, attain moksha. Oh, it's up to your hand of ending the cycle of birth and death. So if you want, you can end it this life only, the cycle of birth and death. And if you wish, you can go on birth after birth. So if you attend this Bhagavad Gita classes, do mantra meditation, chanting, then at the end of lifetime, then within this lifetime, your karma is over and you can go back to Godhead. So it's all up to you. Okay. Any other question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, one more question.
Yeah.
What is the difference between knowledge and self-realization?
Yeah. So now you have got the knowledge, right? You are not this body, you are spirit soul. But have you realized that you are not this body?
Yeah. Okay.
So when you realize this, you become self-realized. But now we're in the process of self-realization to realize that I'm not this body, I'm spirit soul. This is called self-realization.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, is there a possibility that there is one person, a soul, who can never get liberated because of his conditioning? Like he can never go back to Godhead, he'll be suffering in this material world only.
No, there can be no soul like that. One day or another, he may. No, see, everybody has a choice. Everybody has a choice. So till the time person wants to remain, he will remain. So Lord will not force his choice. So there are many creations, many destruction, which we are not going to discuss here. But it's a choice, individual choice.
So Prabhu, one day whole material world will be empty because like everybody will go. So,
but there are many souls waiting to come. Like material creation always goes on. Like jail is always running, right?
Prabhu, once if somebody goes to spiritual world, they will not come back. So one by one, if everybody is going back, then there will be a time when nobody is coming and just going, like they're just there.
But somehow the creation goes on. That's what Bhagavad Gita says. I'm going to apply metro logic because these things are achantai without a frame of time. So I don't want to use the complex terms here. Maybe another time I'll explain you. Okay. Any other question? Otherwise we end. So thank you all of you for giving so much time for these sessions, and I'm very happy to serve in some way all of you for learning this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, and we'll continue with it, and hopefully the sessions will bring you more closer towards your real purpose of life, the purpose of finding real happiness. Because all of us are searching for happiness in some way or the other. Whether whatever we spend money, whatever we do in investment in relationships, we're looking for happiness. So where to find this everlasting happiness? Where to find this complete satisfaction of heart? This is the message of Bhagavad Gita, which every human being needs to know. Okay. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we will meet the next Saturday again 6 p.m. for the part 2 of this chapter 2. Kindly use the quiz link. It is mentioned in the chat before ending the meeting. Otherwise, you will not have access. Although we will post in the group today night. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
How do I put it out?